morning, comrade. Who am I? It's a common question asked by almost everyone. For some, it can be complicated and awfully confusing, with many twists and turns, ups and downs, and sometimes the journey might seem unending. But figuring out who you are and who you want to be is the most beautiful part. It's a process that's built up through experiences, and without them our path would have no direction. I am thankful to be standing in front of you today and have the opportunity to share with you my story of how I got to conference school. My name is Lawand Chapel. I am a tourist senior from Erbil, the capital of Iraqi Kurdistan. If you don't know Kurdistan, you are not alone. It is the home to the majority of Kurdish people in the world. The region covers parts of Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and Syria, where 50 million Kurdish people live. We have our language, culture, identity, and our autonomous authority in the Middle East. I started my education as a lazy student. Never liked to study or go to school. My mom spent lots of her precious time teaching me how to hold and write with a pencil, but I never cared about because I hated to learn. My first grade was awful. Although I was in the top of my class, I was unhappy because I thought I would never like school. I preferred staying at home and playing. But my second grade was different. I liked school a bit more. I started feeling like if I worked hard, I could be the smartest student of my class. Everything was going well, but then in March of 2003, the Iraq War happened. I was in the academic year of my second grade when the government shut down all the schools. My family, friends, neighbors had to move to a safer place. We were scared that Iraq's ruling regime would attack the Kurdish people with chemical gas. The reason we were so fearful was on March 16, 1988, the town of Halabja, which is 160 miles from my hometown, was filled with the sickening smell of apple in the air. The inhabitants were trapped and collapsed one after the other. In just a few hours, 5,000 civilians were killed, mostly women and children. Thousands more were injured. Today, the wounds of this massacre still haven't healed. When I went to Halabja with my dad, we saw all inhabitants of Halabja were affected in one way or another. In every house, people still keep apple in memory of the tragedy. Everyone remembers stories, each more tragic than the other. Not only do the survivors have horrible memory, but they also bear the physical scar of the massacre. We met survivors who have cancer, respiratory, and dermatological problems. We saw the indirect victim of the massacre, children born with birth defect. The dictator of Iraq led one of the worst humanitarian crises of the 20th century. So in order to be far away from this danger again, we moved near the Iran-Iraq border. I will never forget those days, how people feared for their lives. Nobody was sure what was going to happen to our future. Everyone was busy trying to find a shelter for their life. As a child, I was confused. Unfortunately, me and other siblings didn't have passports because the issuing of passports had stopped for the Kurdish people. So my family trapped inside the country. I saw many people packing up food and equipment for those dark days. They didn't know when they would be back. For me though, I packed only my school textbooks because they were the most important things. I spent most of my time studying without any electricity all day long. The only light we had was a kerosene lamp. This is why I call these moments of my life the darkness of my childhood. After the danger had passed, we returned home. Back at school again, I studied very hard. During that time, I was only driven by competition to be top of the class. I never cared about what I learned. After I finished my primary school and ranked in the top 10 students of Erbil, then I understood the importance of learning. For my secondary and high school, my dad took me to a Turkish private school for a better education opportunity. There were many changes because I had to learn a new language. I worked hard and put all my effort to study in Turkish. My hard work was paid off. As a high school sophomore, I was challenged by science, and I became interested in my science classes. I was chosen to participate in a science Olympiad at Syracuse University in June 2012. I won bronze medal as a result of enhancing the efficiency of dye-sensitized solar cell. After that experience, my teacher decided to show me a school, which was Putnam Science Academy. He asked me if I would like to study in US. After a long and difficult decision, I attended Putnam Science Academy as a junior in September 2012. It was a tough start because my English skills were limited. I could barely speak or understand what the teacher was saying in class. So I had carried my huge English-Kurdish dictionary with me, working very hard to get advanced with my English. But I was not satisfied after 1 year of hard work. I found it difficult to learn English because there were so many Turkish students who always spoke Turkish, while my Turkish improved, my English didn't. Finally, I decided to change my school and find a better school where I could improve my English and get into my dream college. Pomfret School was one of the best schools I wanted to get in. Now, I have been at Pomfret for 2 years, and I can still remember my first day at school campus. I can remember how nervous I was, much like I am right now. Pomfret was such a big change and challenge for me. Everything was different. But on the other hand, I was very excited to start. From the beginning, it felt like my second home, because of this warm community filled with intelligent and caring people, many who have inspired me to stand here before you. They have provided me with the opportunity to experience many things I could have never imagined. Pomfret has allowed me to meet some of the most amazing people from all over the world. It gave me the opportunity to learn, and more importantly, to discover. At Pomfret, whether we want to or not, we become involved. Each and every one of us has been involved in something, like athletics, clubs, and keeping up with Pomfret's tough academic curriculum. I have been at times working like a living robot. I have said to myself, there is no way I can possibly get everything done. However, in the end, things just seem to work out. For me, the biggest reason I am able to keep up in all aspects of Pomfret's demanding life is because I am constantly surrounded by people whom I love to work with. As individuals, we all have a different passion. At Pomfret, we all have given the opportunity to build the foundation of our path to a life of goodness. So what is a life of goodness? For me, life of goodness is to do what you love. The good life is not about what you do, rather it's about why you do it. What is it that makes you do what you do? Everybody knows what they do, but not everybody is sure why they do it. A life of goodness is to find your why. It's not about the class you take or the sports you play. It's about why you play those sports or why you take those classes. Did you take that class because that's what you're passionate about? Or did you take that class because that's what your friend took? When you are able to find what you love, your passion will stick with it and then you will become successful. When you can look at yourself in the mirror each and every day and confidently state that you do what you are passionate about, you will never work a day in your life. For me, the passion of learning and experiencing new things has kept me feeling like I have never worked at Pomfret. It has been part of my journey. Finding out that living Pomfret is real is a new feeling. I look back on faculties who have impacted me during this time. I am grateful for what they have done, like Mr. Raw, for never giving up on helping me out of his class time. Mr. Lars, for challenging me with things I never thought I could accomplish. Mr. Kramer and Mrs. Kramer, for their great wisdom and for all of their kind words. Mr. Martin, for teaching me and helping me find my love for outdoors. Ms. Labib, I really appreciate the help you gave me last year. Kat, for helping me discover another side to art that I never would have found without your enthusiasm and support. Finally, Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown, you have been another set of parents to me. You helped me when I felt like there was no one left to turn to. I also wouldn't be here right now making this speech to you all if it weren't my parents. They have encouraged me to explore my passions. I am truly thankful. I hope to make both of them proud one day by taking the advantage of the opportunities they have given me in the past and for the future in which I am about to embark on. Thank you, Pomfret.